Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. Today we're taking a close look at a really interesting player in the commercial space game, Rocket Lab. Our mission basically is to figure out, is Rocket Lab a good buy right now? We'll be digging into its recent momentum, the state of its finances, the technical chart picture, and what catalysts might be coming up, all based on the research stack we've gathered. And hey, if you find this discussion useful, please do remember to subscribe, like the video, and drop a comment. Also, definitely let us know if there's a specific company you want us to analyze next. Just leave it in the comments below. Okay, so let's unpack this. Rocket Lab has been generating a lot of buzz lately, like the last quarter especially. And it's not just retail chatter. Institutions seem interested too. We've got info here covering everything from solid earnings beats to, well, even some M&A speculation floating around. We really need to understand why things heated up so much leading into this final quarter of 2025.
Yeah, the shift in momentum was pretty noticeable.
Yeah.
And you can really trace it back to two main things. Big contract wins, number one, and then the expansion of their actual launch vehicle plans.
Okay, let's start with the contracts. What was the big news back in July that really got things going?
That was the landmark 21 launch contract they secured. Now, what's interesting here isn't just the size, though it was big, it's the strategic angle. It gave them, real scaled revenue visibility, looking years out. That kind of stability is huge. It helps de-risk future funding needs and lets management confidently pour money into R&D, like for the Neutron rocket, without being quite so worried about market swings. It basically signaled they're playing in the big leagues now, enterprise scale.
Right, and that kind of proof of scalability, that's like gold when you're bidding for those major government contracts or big constellation deployments. And it wasn't just signing deals, right? They kept launching successfully, too.
Exactly. They maintained their perfect mission success rate with Electron launches during that period. Reliability is everything.
Consistency builds that trust factor.
It does. And the market definitely reacted. We saw analyst upgrades coming in pretty steadily through the summer, talking about double-digit growth potential. And that whole positive feedback loop led to the stock jumping, over 7% just in September, directly fueled by those contract wins and the launch success.
But the really big picture shift, the thing that could fundamentally change the company's trajectory, that's the Neutron rocket, isn't it? We know Electron's great for the small stuff, but Neutron is aimed much higher.
Precisely. Back in August, they gave some key updates on the Neutron test plans and the timeline. And that news, almost instantly, just blew open their total addressable market, the TAM, into medium lift. It's a totally different scale. It's like going from local courier deliveries to running global container ships almost overnight in terms of potential. That expansion is the real long-term growth engine, letting them compete for much bigger missions.
Okay, so great story, huge momentum building, but you can't just run on narrative forever. We need to look under the hood at the actual numbers. How solid is the financial foundation here?
Well, connecting back to that bigger picture, the foundation looks pretty robust and it's definitely improving. Q2 revenue came in at $144.5 million. That continued a really strong growth pattern. And the consensus view is for that to tick up again in Q3, maybe to around $151.4 million. But the critical thing here is their track record. They've beaten sales estimates 100% of the time over the last year, consistently.
That kind of consistency is impressive, yeah. But let me just play devil's advocate for a second. I mean, compared to a huge defense contractor or mature aerospace company, $150 million a quarter, it's still relatively small, isn't it? Does that growth story really justify the valuation jump we've seen, especially since they aren't consistently profitable yet?
That's absolutely the right question. And the justification, I think, lies in the path to profitability. Specifically, the margin expansion they're showing. We saw gross margins improve significantly. They went from about 19% a year ago to roughly 24.1% for the full year 2024. Now, that's not just about selling more. It reflects, real operational scaling, getting better, and probably a better product mix too, especially with their space systems side growing where they build satellite components. So while, there's still a net loss, it is narrowing. And analysts generally see a credible path to hitting EBITDA positive sometime in late 2026.
Okay, but to get there, to fund that path, they need runway, right? Can they handle the R&D costs, maybe some delays, without having to keep going back to the market for cash and diluting shareholders? How's the balance sheet look?
They actually have quite a bit of resilience there. As of mid-2025, Rocket Lab had a very strong cash position. We're talking $515 million in cash and equivalents. And against that really low total debt, only about $88 million. So that leaves them with a substantial net cash position.
Can you break down what net cash position means in simple terms for someone listening?
Sure. It just means if they decided to pay off every single dollar of debt they owe tomorrow, they'd still have hundreds of millions left over in cash. That gives them a lot of runway, potentially years, to fund that R&D for Neutron and other growth plans without needing to rush out for more funding. Plus, their liquidity looks really good too. The research notes their current ratio is over 3.0x.
Which means, in plain English,
It means they have more than $3 in short-term assets for every $1 of short-term debt or bills coming due. It's just pure financial flexibility. Gives them a cushion against economic bumps or unexpected costs in development.
that financial cushion, yeah, that definitely sets them apart from maybe some of the smaller cash-strapped space startups out there. So they've got the money to survive and grow. But, you mentioned giants like SpaceX earlier or ULA. Financial strength is only part of it. What's their actual competitive edge? What's the moat?
Right, their advantage really comes down to a few things. Speed, focusing on that small to medium client niche, and crucially, how vertically integrated they are. Positionally, yeah, they're the #2 dedicated small-sat launcher globally, behind SpaceX, obviously. But the real moat is their own tech, the proven electron, the move to neutron, and that vertical integration piece.
Let's nail that down a bit more. Vertical integration. Why is that such a big deal compared to just being a taxi to space?
Well, it dramatically boosts their value proposition, makes customers stickier. It means they don't just launch your satellite. They can often build key parts of it too. The satellite bus, platforms, sensors, other components, all in-house. So the customer gets kind of a one-stop shop. It can mean better pricing sometimes, definitely faster timelines, and potentially higher reliability because everything's designed to work together seamlessly from the start.
And you see that reflected in who their customers are, right? It's a mix NASA, the DoD, big commercial names.
Exactly. That diverse base, spanning government and commercial, helps smooth things out if one sector slows down. It stabilizes their backlog.
Okay, good stuff. Let's switch gears slightly and look at the chart. How are the technicals lining up with this strong fundamental story? Are the traders seeing the same thing as the analysts?
Yeah, if you pull up the chart, the technicals are looking pretty positive, actually. They align quite well with that bullish sentiment. The stock's been in a clear uptrend. It's been printing this series of higher lows pretty consistently since late Q2 2025. That's textbook upward momentum building.
And where's the price relative to those moving averages everyone watches?
It's trading well above both the 50-day simple moving average, that's the shorter term one, which has been acting as pretty solid support recently, and it's also significantly above the longer term 200-day SMA, which is much lower down. That suggests this recent move isn't just a quick pop, it might be more structural.
Okay, so for people maybe looking at shorter term trades, what are the key levels on the chart right now? Support and resistance?
Looks like there's strong support down in the $43 to $45 zone. That area held up during the recent pullbacks. On the upside, near-term resistance seems to be around that $50 mark. It's been bumping up against that. Looking at over the next few months, say October through December, some projections see a potential trading range maybe between $47 on the low end, up towards $57.80 on the high end. So still suggesting decent upside potential if catalysts hit right. Okay, catalysts. This is where things could get really interesting, right? Let's look ahead. What events are coming up just in the next 3 months, Q4 2025, that could really move the needle on the stock price? Let's start with the stuff we know is definitely happening. Right. The biggest confirmed date, the one everyone's watching, is the Q3 earnings announcement. That's scheduled for October 31st. Investors are going to be laser focused. Can they keep that streak of sales beats going? And maybe even more importantly, what updates do they give on the contract backlog and those gross margins we talked about? Yeah. Is that positive trend continuing?
And then there are those market mechanics dates, the things that can drive volume even without specific company news.
Exactly. Put November 8th on your calendar. That's a major ETF quarterly rebalancing date. As Rocket Lab kind of cements its reputation as a legit aerospace growth stock, you could see passive funds being forced to buy shares during that rebalancing. That can drive volume and push the price. Then later, around December 5th, we'll start seeing the 13F filings. That's when big institutions reveal their holdings. Seeing new funds taking positions or existing ones adding, that always gives the stock a confidence boost.
Okay, so those are the knowns. But the research is also full of, let's say, industry chatter and rumors. What are the big speculative things that could cause a sudden spike?
Well, first, there's persistent speculation about a potential major aerospace partnership.
Yeah.
Think like an alliance with one of the big U.S. defense prime contractors. That kind of tie-up could instantly unlock access to much larger government and defense contracts, things that might need higher security clearances or just a bigger balance sheet than Rocket Lab has alone right now. That would be huge.
Makes sense, especially with defense budgets. What about Neutron? We keep saying it's key to the future. What's the buzz there?
The chatter is that they might be getting close to announcing their very first flagship customer for the Neutron rocket. This would likely be, a significant satellite network operator, maybe building out a big constellation. Getting that first anchor customer signed and announced is absolutely critical to validating the whole medium lift program in the market's eyes. And finally, you can't ignore the M&A rumors. As the space sector continues to consolidate globally, some people see Rocket Lab as a really attractive takeover target for a giant aerospace player wanting to buy a proven, vertically integrated launch capability.
Interesting. And it looks like even insider activity is sort of quietly backing up this positive view.
It seems so, yeah, although it's been small amounts. The filings from September showed some small net insider buying. A couple of directors added shares after the strong Q2 results came out. It's not a massive signal, but it's definitely a quiet vote of confidence from people on the inside. Now, this obviously brings up a really important point we need to consider carefully. The risks. Enthusiasm is great, but this is the space launch business. No investment here is without pretty significant risk.
Absolutely essential to cover that with the same focus as the potential upside. The research highlights specific company risks, and I guess the biggest one is just things going wrong with the launch. Execution.
Yeah, a failure is the absolute #1 threat. A major issue with an Electron launch, or even worse, a failure during an early Neutron test flight that could seriously damage investor confidence. It could shatter that perfect mission record they've built, cause immediate stock volatility. Customer perception is just critical in this industry. One bad launch can lead to contract delays, maybe even cancellations, and we also have to factor in potential margin pressure from all the R&D spending needed to get Neutron fully operational, and just the general risk of government contract delays, which happen all the time.
And then there's the competition, right? They might have cash and cool tech, but they are still up against absolute giants.
Definitely. You have to acknowledge the intense competition and pricing pressure, especially from SpaceX and their rideshare missions, which are incredibly cost-effective. Rocket Lab offers dedicated flights, which is different, but they still have to compete on price to some extent. Plus, just general economic uncertainty, macro volatility, that could slow down funding for new satellite projects, which means less demand for launches overall.
Okay. So we've looked at the momentum, the improving financials, the strong chart, the upcoming catalysts, but also those very real, potentially severe risks. How do we sort of sum all that up? What's the overall investment thesis for Rocket Lab coming out of this analysis?
Well, the analysis points towards an overall bullish rating, scoring at about an 8.5 out of 10. And the rationale is pretty compelling. You've got strong top-line growth. Those margins are clearly improving thanks to scaling. They have a unique competitive moat built on reliability and that vertical integration. The technical chart picture looks supportive, showing sustained momentum. And analyst consensus is strongly positive. 8 out of 12 recommend buy, with the highest price target on the street up at $60.
So it sounds like there might be something here for different types of investors, maybe, both shorter term and longer term.
I think it absolutely offers potential on both fronts. It seems attractive for, say, short-term traders looking to play those upcoming catalysts we discussed, like the Q3 earnings report. But it also looks equally appealing for long-term investors who want exposure to the structural growth of the space industry and believe in Rocket Lab's ability to innovate and successfully make that big shift into the medium lift market with Neutron. So we've covered quite a bit, the company's financial health improving, the powerful technical momentum we're seeing, and those really pivotal catalysts just around the corner for Rocket Lab. The data seems to show pretty strong alignment across the fundamentals, institutional interest picking up, and a positive news flow. Look, Rocket Lab's whole strategy really hangs on making this shift from being the leader in small lift success to successfully ramping up the medium lift Neutron platform. That's the big leap. And considering that their path to actually generating free cash flow to becoming truly self-sustaining is completely dependent on Neutron working out, here's a question you should really be thinking about.
Which upcoming catalyst is going to be the most critical tipping point for the stock's valuation as we head into 2026? Is it going to be nailing those Q3 earnings and showing continued margin improvement? Or is it the splashy announcement of that very first Neutron customer, something to mull over?